You were at Lake Rant, where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one's for Juca Chavez, who says, rant about my desire to abandon society and live in the forest. Well, I don't know what's causing your desire to do that, but I can rant about my desire to abandon society and live in the forest. You know, I think about it pretty often. I mean, it's really funny how we convince ourselves of all these things that we need to live as people. But you don't really need that much, right? You just need food, some kind of shelter to keep yourself from, getting rained out and fucking getting diseases from the rain. But, you could live off the land. People used to do it. People used to just build themselves a little shack and live off of the fucking shit that was there. Hunt and gather. You can make yourself a little farm. Homesteading. I'm really interested in homesteading as a concept. Just the idea of being as self-reliant as possible and, just living a simpler life, which really is probably a more satisfying way to live. Like, it's not as safe. There's definitely problems where, if anything goes wrong, it all falls on you. If you don't have any stopgap measures, let's say you're relying on a harvest for food and your crops all fucking get torn through by a typhoon or something, you're fucked. And if you don't have anybody to rely on, that might be the end of your little adventure. But, nonetheless, if you're careful and if you do things right, you can live that way. And everything you do, you reap the rewards of your own actions. It's not for anybody else. It's all just to take care of yourself. And, I don't know, I think it's a noble way of living. And, there's this episode of Eureka 7. Actually, there's both an episode of Arjuna and of Eureka 7. Both shows with heavy Shoji Kawamori involvement. Both shows have a scene where the main characters meet a guy who is living by himself in a shack tending a farm. And in both cases, this character is presented as sort of the most, spiritually intelligent, we'll say. They are very attuned to the world around them. They're living as one with the earth, and it just kind of feels like there's nothing more that's really necessary than this. You get that impression from watching it. You're just like, yeah, if you lived this way, you would basically be a natural human. Not to the extent where you have literally not even a roof over your head, but just living in harmony with nature and, not being more of a burden on the environment or other people than you should. And most of us are, I think, more of a burden than we maybe realize or than we should be, in just living our lives day to day. So there's definitely, again, something admirable to me about the idea of going off to just live by yourself off the land, maybe a small community or something. But especially when you're just fucking sick of society. That's when that desire really rises up, where you're just like, man, I hate this fucking world and all these people. I sure would love to have an escape, to just go and live in a fucking forest, not to deal with anybody. But, at the same time, I am a 21st century digital boy. Can you even imagine me unplugged? Sometimes, though, I do imagine it, and I think, actually that sounds great. I'm just not willing to put in the effort. It's just a matter of, you have to learn things and do things and find a place. Where the fuck are you going to do this? What forest are you going to find? Move out to the Midwest and just set up camp in some weird field. I don't know. But, if anybody did it, if anybody literally, left society to go live in a shack somewhere, I'd be mad fucking respect.